Yeah.
I
Wait,
always
if that's
cry.
the show, wait, give me 1 second. I have to get prepared for that. Hold on.
All
Yeah.
right. You got your tissues? Perfect.
Are we gonna cry?
I know I'm crying.
Not crying on the inside.
All right. There we go.
Yes, let's do this.
All right, and we are live. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
Ready for the cheers.
Aloha Manga Club, Lohali signing in, and we are joined by a very special surprise guest, the Mighty E, aka Ellie. Thank you so much for being on. Obviously, we have Jin. But before we dive into today's topic, which is manga blossoming into anime and how to skip past shonen into other amazing genres, the Mighty E, would you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Absolutely. So, again, my 90E, you call me Ellie. So, mostly what I do, I like to stream, but most of my life exists around me reading and binge reading manga and binge watching anime to the point where at this point, it's fully engrossed me. I love talking about it. There's nothing I would enjoy more than just kind of just lighthearted discussion or super in-depth discussion, late night talks. But really, I just really love everything about manga, everything about anime, the artwork, the intense blood, sweat, and tears that go behind it.
I mean, I think that's something that we all can love about manga,
Yeah.
anime. It's just that literal blood, sweat, tears, other food spills, they all end up
Yes.
on the manga pages on the very first draft.
The coffee stain.
It's all horrifying. Tea stains. Like, I know if I
Mm.
was a manga creator, it would be energy drinks and green tea. Unsweetened tea, by the way. I'm strange like that.
Yes.
Jin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
I-
Obviously, you got the shock.
There's something different about you. What could it be? Oh, no!
Oh man, I tan like a shade. You see it?
I see it. I see it on the
you-
forehead area. Yeah.
Did
Yep,
you...
yeah, right there.
You seem to have... Your head seems a little bit lighter. Maybe a little bit smaller.
Mm.
Did something happen?
Yeah,
Oh, no, what happened?
I read more manga, and my brain just went. Psh.
I knew it. I knew it.
Mm-hmm.
Just too much.
Oh. This was a shock, by the way, for me, guys. I did not know that Jin was cutting his hair until he showed up and hurt my feelings. I'm crying, actually, on the inside right now.
Mm-hmm. You
Right.
can't see it. The
It's like
light's too
5
bright.
seconds from Lohali's talking, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Mighty, holy crap!"
True. That was pretty close to my reaction. I was very surprised.
Mhm.
So, what actually got you into manga, the Mighty E? What brought you into this fold of creativity and fun?
Oof. So if I could go all the way back to the beginning of the dawn of my existence, I would honestly say it all started with being up too late watching anime and not knowing what anime is. How a lot of us had found it. Toonami branching into Adult Swim on a Saturday. But when I first kind of discovered manga, I was just trying to find out how to read Inuyasha, but couldn't find Inuyasha. And so what I ended up doing was reading Yotsubato. That was my very first one. That was my very first manga. So I ended up reading Yotsubato and then Full Metal Panic. It just kind of spiraled all the way out of control.
It out like how out of control? Are we talking like thousands upon hundreds upon dozens of books? Are we talking just hundreds of hours spent consuming this amazing art form?
It was hi, this is Wendy, sorry. So it ended up being me spending unholy amounts of hours at the library to the point where I found a whole clan of Yu-Gi-Oh! Uh, just Yu-Gi-Oh players just playing it thoroughly, and then I found out what Yu-Gi-Oh was. I didn't even know what Pokemon was at this time. I just was reading exactly. It all kind of hit me
Right?
real hard.
I was like, "Is this
Like you didn't even wait.
Stop.
You didn't know what Pokemon was?
No, okay, so this was my childhood. My childhood essentially consisted of me binge watching Powerpuff Girls and Barbie. And I kid you not, I was about 6 years old and I was at the library and I got left alone. And there was like this big old table and a bunch of kids that were far too old for me to be hanging out with. And they were just playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And I was like, wow, this is so cool. And this kid was like, yeah, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! And then he showed me what it was. And then he asked me if I knew. And he had the same reaction as y'all. And he was like, you need to know this. And then I was obsessed with Pokemon.
I mean, what? Okay, so you didn't.
I understand.
I'm just trying to comprehend this. Girls didn't know what Pokemon was?
We knew, I just didn't know. I had no idea. So, and that sounds really bad. And this is really me exposing myself a lot because because I feel like people just assumed that I knew, but I would just watch. So you have 4 kids, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't watching Pokemon on 4 kids, man. Watching Cyber Chase. Okay. I was watching, yeah,
Cyber Chase
that's what I was
was
doing.
dope, by the way.
Exactly. I was watching Cyber Chase. I knew what Digimon was before I knew what Pokemon was.
Okay, now I'm just confused and worried and upset.
And you know what? That's okay because I've learned, okay? And now I'm a Pokemon master and I am co-raising a Pokemon master here. So
Perfect.
that's what we do. Yeah, that's what we do. We go up and we walk up the street, we destroy our neighbors, and we, take their, hopes and dreams away from them.
I
Team
mean,
Mystic.
obviously.
And then we come home.
So who's your starter Pokemon now that, Pokemon is obviously king?
Bulbasaur, for the sole purpose that my favorite color is green.
I can respect that. Respect that. I'm a Typhlosion kind of guy myself.
Yeah.
And actually, it's going to get worse.
Oh, yeah!
It's going to get even worse. I played Pokemon Yellow when I first started playing Pokemon, so I have...
Oh, wow.
I'm a Pikachu boy.
I know that y'all can't see it, but they're sitting right.
My heart just exploded.
Well, this whole shelf right here is like all Pokemon, so if you look really hard, you can see all the little...
I noticed. Audrey, no.
I'm horrible.
Close the door. Close the door. Close the door. Close the door. Close it.
Man,
I love it.
There's just so much excitingness going on right now. So when you discovered Pokemon, when you discovered Yu-Gi-Oh, like, how did you really start to expand from there?
Audrey, how did I expand? I guess I was just always at the library. Audrey, get out. And so I eventually I don't even know. I was just always in the manga section. So I would just be constantly reading. And honestly, I cannot remember. I can't remember how often it started. I'm so sorry. All my nieces came in here. And honestly, I can't remember. Mostly because I was just always sitting with a book, always had manga in my hand, and I would just always be reading it. This is so bad that I remember I was at my uncle's house and he lived about a mile from the nearest library. And I had an itch that I needed to scratch. And I walked to that library. I was in like the 3rd grade. I walked a mile to that library and I sat there. I had a lot of overdue fees because I just read them and kept them. And so I paid off the fees with my little allowance and I carried this big stack of manga back to my house. And the first thing my uncle's girlfriend says is I should not be reading those because evidently they were ecchi. And I was like, you know what? I don't even care. I don't even.
I'm more concerned the library let you out of there at that age with those manga.
They had no idea. It was a little old lady. And so she was like, oh, okay. And just scanned them all. And so I just took them and walked away.
And then you got back and you're like, oh no.
I didn't even notice it until someone pointed it out to me that it was a bad business move. And I was like, well, I can't stop now.
Like, I'm too deep into this.
I'm far too deep. Audrey. What did I say?
So, actually, I did a lot of the similar things in... when I was younger, I'd go to the library all the time, read a ton of manga, and just generally spend hours upon days reading exclusively Dragon Ball over and over. I had the entire Dragon Ball series memorized. Not Z, just Dragon Ball.
Oof. That's good stuff.
But I guess technically Dragon Ball Z is Dragon Ball. It's whatever. Depends on where you're at in the world.
It's all the same.
In the United States, it's Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z.
Just essence. Yeah. I think the first video game I played anime video game was the Dragon Ball anime. the Dragon Ball video game, and my uncle and I played it to completion. I don't think we actually ever stopped playing it. We just played it to completion. I can't even remember the name of what it was.
Well, you
Oh
have
my gosh.
Budokai Tenkaichi, Tenkaichi.
Budokai! It was Budokai. You spoke my heart. It was Budokai.
That's because I still have all of those games. I don't even have like a video game system anymore that can play them, but I still have every single one. My go-to character was, I wanted to prove a point to somebody one time, so I let them borrow my jacked up son Goku. This was back when you could customize him, and he could like do, it was like a 3-hit combo that would basically destroy anybody. And I wanted to prove a point to my friend that I was better than him. It's like, here, you can have this. I'll take a Cyberman, who was the worst character in the game, and I beat him without taking a hit. I was really good.
That was rude. I can't even say anything because anytime we fought, I always chose Yamcha because I love Yamcha. I can't really give you an explanation of why. It's okay if you roast me. I'm used to it.
I mean, it's okay. It's not like you're gonna self-destruct.
Yamcha had the best character development. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Thank you.
He did have some pretty.
He went from, oh my god, it's a woman. Don't touch me to, hey Bulma, you're pretty hot.
Exactly.
So you lose to Vegeta and you're like, Yamcha, you screwed up, bud. You screwed up.
No,
Look, I will die on this hill. I will die on the hill that yes, Yamcha, he wasn't an alien. He wasn't anything special. Yamcha defeated Kid Goku. So by that essence, Yamcha beat Goku. I'll die on this hill. No discussions.
I'll die on this hill. Gohan had the greatest anti-character development. He became worse, and he was my boy.
Did.
Like he had great character development all the way to Cell Saga, and then his character development just went. Once he introduced the Great Saiyaman, downhill. Just downhill. Like Cell Saga Gohan is my boy. Like I will go to war. Like you'll die on that hill for Yamcha. I will die on that hill for Gohan. I mean, he had the most amazing moments in Dragon Ball Z. The most casual Kamehameha to explode Cell charges up this entire like solar system exploding Kamehameha wave, and Gohan just goes Kamehameha and just doesn't even emote. He's just like whatever, throws it out, destroys him, and then Vegeta has to come down, get really upset, and Gohan saves his life, loses an arm. He loses the use of a full arm. He's not in battle mode anymore, and he still manages to one-arm blast Cell into the sun. What other character can do that?
One of the most notable scenes too. Father-son Kamehameha.
Exactly.
Yes. Beautiful. And like you just so eloquently described it. You could like paint a picture of it. So nice.
It's Gohan. Did Gohan have character flaws when he was in full power mode? Yes. He was cocky. He had all the worst traits of a Saiyan. In fact, I would go as far to say that Gohan in Super Saiyan was more of a Saiyan than Goku in Super Saiyan.
I mean, but
you're not wrong.
He was only half.
But he still had all the negative emotions.
Because he was human.
Perhaps. He might have... I mean, is he human or is he dancer? I mean...
he might be...
I'm glad somebody appreciated that. I'm glad somebody appreciated that.
I don't know.
I had to resist the urge to sing it, but it's okay.
It's okay. It's in my head right now. No one has to sing it. We all know what's going on.
We all know. Wait,
what are you singing?
Have you never heard that song?
Do you not know? Are we human?
The Killer
or
was that?
Are we dancer?
That was the Killers 2010.
Oof.
Oh,
2009, 2010.
So. Yeah, I can't even remember the name of the album. All I can know is Hot Fuzz, The Killers. And that was like number 1.
I actually think it was the name of the album was Are We Human?
You know what? I remember them being on a beach. Or not a beach, look at the desert. But yes. Listen to it. Jen, come on.
I was just singing of the song at the beginning of Dragon Ball Z Kai, and I was like, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I don't like that they made Kai, but I like the song,
So the song is actually titled Human, and
of course, because we don't use the first few words in songs.
And it literally comes from the album Day and Age, but it was the single. in 2008. Wow, I was actually really close. I'm more surprised by that than anything.
2008.
I mean, it was released the year after Don't Shoot Me, Santa.
Oh no.
Classic, underrated classic.
2008.
That was my freshman year of high school.
Right. I feel like I should have wrinkles or some junk. Oh my gosh. Well,
I do
here
have
we are.
wrinkles because I was in the sun too much as a small child. I didn't read enough manga.
See, opposite. I did not go to necessary.
My dad forced me to work. You had to work to help pay the bills.
I'm proud of that. You know, I support that.
I'm cool with it.
However, I did not. I most definitely was in the house.
And that's okay. That's okay.
Yes.
My dad made me throw away most of my Shonen Jump manga, like monthly manga, when I turned 16 because it's not something that men read. We had a whole huge argument about it. But it's okay. Like, I was upset with him for that, but I also understand, like, he grew up in a different generation that it meant something different to. And he was always, that was the only thing that he never understood about me was, like, manga. Other than that, he and I get along great.
Hey, video idea. You should totally do like your dad then versus your dad now.
I could.
I watch it.
I mean, I could. It would be literally, the video would still be him not being able to.
I would totally watch it.
I did see him Saturday.
You did. The only disadvantage to my dad reading manga is he's older. He's like 60 plus, and I'm sitting at 25. So it's harder for him to comprehend reading the manga completely the exact opposite of a regular American book.
Okay, so I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Show him JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh, that would be the... If I was going to do one, it would probably have to be Eye Shield 21. It sounds... I know that sounds dumb. But my dad actually enjoys football, so getting him to read a football comic that doesn't have superpowers, isn't completely over the top, and has decent writing and artwork, I think would be the better way instead of JoJo's homoerotic adventures. I'm not wrong. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. You're very much right.
Again.
But look, I can't even justify it. You know what? No, you can have that one. Can't justify that one.
If it wasn't for the fact that my dad was
lovely.
Yes. What's up, Jin?
No. I mean, you got 1 point.
I got 1 point, low Hali. Wow. Yeah, no. Again, trying to get my 65-year-old Midwestern white father to read JoJo's not quite heterosexual adventures would be
homoerotic.
Again, they're not. It's not necessarily. It's not gay, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just there's some very, very strong undertones that I'm not entirely sure that my dad would understand or appreciate.
Beginning and ending with the fact that Dio Brando turned a priest gay,
which is just weird, by the way.
Beginning and ending.
I feel like your dad would probably get to the end of the series and then be like, "Son, is this character supposed to be gay?" And you're just like,
we can't answer that.
How long did you read this? And then you wanted to ask me right after you finished that? I know the feeling though. Like, I'm reading, when I read my love story, I was like putting money on the best friend being gay and liking the main guy. And I was like, this has to be it. I get to the end of the story and it's like him and the girl like propose to each other. I was like, what happened to the friend? Like, I was really salty he didn't end up with anybody. I was like, I either need him to end up with a guy or a chick. I don't care what. It could even be the dog down the street. Give him a relationship.
I care about the dog down the street. That's a little weird. A little strange.
But that reminds me of Kids on the Slope. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen Kids on the Slope, but Kids on the Slope, it was like we knew that he wanted to have a relationship with the girl, but also the guy. But it was just too much. I'm not going to tell you any of the information that you need to know. Just watch Kids on the Slope. Read Kids on the Slope. Feel it. Download the soundtrack.
It looks like it's from... The music is from the same person who wrote Cowboy Bebop soundtrack. What?
Yeah. And when I tell you, it is so they. Oh my God, they have a rendition of Lullaby of Birdland, and I kid you not, I was like, I can't even fully function and listen to this. It is so nice. It's like an anime that you can sit and chill and watch and not have any problems and not feel overtly emotional all the time. But you'll still feel like, wow, I want to watch another 30 to 45 minutes of this. Hits next. Yes, that's what we want. It's a nice love relationship.
That's all. You know what? All that I want in a manga is a good friendship. I don't want relationships. I want good friendships because half the time they're just.
Yes.
I'm like, this is either an unhealthy relationship or this is a fake. Like,
We don't need.
I was like, you know what, my best friend. You know what me and my best friend do? We make fun of each other a lot, and we emotionally support each other. These guys are just being straight up mean.
Just mean. Like tsundere to a whole other aspect, and we don't need that.
No.
We don't need that.
So when it comes to actually
the anime,
there's
the anime I watched, Something of Darkness.
Something.
And I watched it. Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. It was on Sci-Fi for a little bit. I watched the whole thing, and after it, like I told my brother, I watched, and he goes, "You do know that those two characters love each other, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, they're best friends." He goes, "No, they're more than that." I was like, so I went watching like all 20 of these episodes, and I was like, I did not catch that. Am I a bad person for that?
No, it's okay. We can be oblivious. What the story was so good, you were invested.
I was. Oh man. Yeah, and then I was so upset about it. I was like, I wish I caught this. It would be a whole different story.
Now you can watch it again.
There was one manga that I was reading that was actually really weird to me. It was called Samurai Deeper. Not Samurai Deeper Kyo, it was just Samurai Deeper. And I got the entire way through the first volume, and I sat there and I was like, man, that was really, really weird. Because I thought it was just like a straight, like, samurai fighting each other. Turns out it was about all the samurais banging each other after fights. I was like, I have no idea what I got myself into. The artwork looked great, though. So, very surprising. Very surprising.
I have to ask you this then. I don't know if he's read it, but in Vagabond, when they get to that scene, you know what scene I'm talking about. What did you feel like? When the two samurai brothers are like, we have to let out the evil spirits, and that's how they do it. And I was like, what am I reading?
Well, that's actually really interesting in like old time Japan. Like that's it.
Well, I feel like it was one of those things. It was like whenever you hear anything about people in jail, and then it's like, I'm not gay because I was in jail and slept with a guy. He's gay because he let me do it to him. And I'm like, does that not matter?
There's a lot of factors here.
You know what? We're diving into something that is way too deep for this. We're gonna hit that reverse button. We're gonna go back.
Bring it back.
We're gonna bring it back to a level where all of us can be not completely Dragon Ball Z. We're going back to Gohan, everybody. So, Ellie, when it comes to, you know, because we're talking about manga, we're talking about anime. When it comes to seeing a manga adaptation become an anime, what do you look for? What makes it actually blossom into a work of art that's either on par with or greater than the manga?
Ooh, I don't even know how to start. Okay. To bring it back, I think I started watching, I'm going to use Dr. Stone as an example. It's the anime of the summer. Amazing so far in the first 3 episodes. But when I started reading Dr. Stone, I was just reading it and I just enjoyed it so much. And, you know, all the characters and the facial expressions and everything that kind of blossomed out of it. So seeing Crunchyroll bless us with just the trailer and the soundtrack that was going to go with it. I only needed to hear like 5 seconds of audio of like of the speakers. I only needed to hear that, but like hearing the audio, it was like, yes, this is exactly what this would sound like. And it's just a combination, just seeing the science happen in real time and not seeing it in black and white and knowing that this is what this is, and this is what this is for, especially with that anime, because with Dr. Stone, it's so heavily based on science and actual natural science and just learning and coming up with things from the bottom and seeing it all happen and the mastery of it and the fact that they kept the artwork in its pristine form. And I think that's one of my favorite things when it comes to having a manga come into an anime is that each and every mangaka they have their own way of drawing. Like you won't see One Punch Man art in like Dragon Ball. It'd be cool, but you don't. But that's why we have crossovers like that time I got reincarnated as Yamcha, or we have crossovers like what they did recently, having the artist for Dr. Stone, whom I cannot remember the name of,
Boichi.
having yes, Boichi, having him draw One Piece characters, like a whole chapter for One Piece. And it's like you can see it and you know it's their character and you know it's Monkey, Luffy, it's these characters, but you're looking at them and it's like, no, these are Boichi's characters. These are theirs. So having that and then transforming it over animated form and then just adding. So now I know what Senku sounds like. I know what Tsukasa sounds like. I know what I guess the essence of them actually working and like the labor that comes behind it. It's such like a huge passionate endeavor that happens behind it.
And I think that's absolutely true. I mean, there's definitely like you can see this passion, this love going into making a manga and anime most of the time. Mm-hmm. There are definitely some studios that are like, we're just in it for the quick buck and just do it to get it out. But a vast majority of studios really do care about trying to give a good, faithful adaptation. But as an audience, you still want something different. If they do one thing wrong, we're going to crucify them. But if they do the entire thing wrong, we justify it by saying, it's inspired by. It's a very interesting and strange conversation that you can start to have about manga and anime. Mm-hmm. But there are definitely ways that you can do it wrong. Don't misquote me. There are 100% ways that you can do it wrong. Like Hinamaru Zumo. I love that manga. Love it. The anime is the most like out of place thing. Like it's not a bad anime, and that intro song for it, hype. Like that is like when you want to get hype before you do something, listen to that. You're like, let's go. Like if you're about to go to a job interview, if you're asking for the raise, listen to that. Just sit there, and it kicks in. It's this weird mix of like metal and like pop, like heavy death screaming metal.
Yes.
It's amazing. And so you just hear it.
Death Note opening season 2.
No idea. Never watched Death Note. You know
season
the answer.
2, you need to look this up.
I've never seen Death Note, but I know that intro. And that intro that's a great intro.
Oh, dude.
I'm telling you.
I have that as my ringtone forever. And then I went a little insane because my brother showed me this rapper called Eddie Rath that rapped Naruto, and I had some of his stuff, and then one of my friends was like, dude, I'm gonna listen to this too, this is so great.
Close my door.
And then from there, it's a long story. I had the whole like football, in things where you see like the football team come up and pour like the whole Gatorade thing on the coach.
Yes.
Like they all came up and like jumped on me and they're like, dude, Eddie Rath is so cool. I was like,
you weren't prepared. That's all.
That's
all it was.
Yeah, what did I do?
But anyway, so the anime for Hinamaru Zumo, the story jumps all over the place. It skips actual like plot development in the manga, and it skips over whole tournaments. Like you lose within the first 3 episodes, almost all of the major characters are introduced, compared to the manga where it takes 50 to 60 chapters to get some of the characters introduced. Like the first episode was a little bit mixed around, like of chapter 1, but then after that they just like kicked it into high gear, and I was like, this is not going to be a faithful adaptation, is it?
That's not really how it goes.
It was But what would you prefer? Would you prefer something that's inspired by, or would you or something that's 100% faithful?
I mean, both though, because if there's something that's inspired by, I want to see your inspiration. I want to know. This doesn't have to be a play-by-play of it if you're not trying to make the actual rendition from manga to anime. But if you're doing a direct rendition, I need everything to be the same. Like in Tokyo Ghoul, there are a lot of scenes, and I know this is going to be, I guess there was a really intimate scene, and everyone was like, "This is not how this happened." And I didn't think any. I was just thinking, oh, probably people are just really passionate about this passionate scene. But it's like, wow, it really was not how it happened. But you have to take in consideration of how things are weighed. So it's like, oh, okay, we have to water this down because it's still gonna be watched by people. There's like a fine line. But if you're gonna make something yours, do better, I guess is the words I'm looking for.
I expect absolute perfection from all of you. That's all that I expect.
Perfection.
All that I want is 100% perfection. And if you don't give it to me, you can, not
Leave.
create manga anymore. I don't care. Just leave. I am the consumer, and which means that your story obviously doesn't belong to you. And if you don't get that this sentence is sarcasm, I really feel bad for you.
Yes, that's the most important
Oh
part.
man,
That's the most important part. Just like my whole thing on Harry Potter. I think Harry Potter needs a manga adaptation.
You know what? That would be super cool. I would
no,
see it.
I
would
thought
like
you were
to see
about to
it.
pull something out. Like, yeah, here's part of it right here.
I've written the
God.
first 4 books.
JK and I have already started discussing.
Actually, a Harry Potter anime I think would be amazing. You do it with the perfect voice cast, so you don't have to worry about them aging up. And then you just do each year. Each book is a year, and like you can do for like the first season, like the first couple seasons where the books are definitely shorter. You can throw in some filler episodes, like have some fun filler episodes to let us get to know the characters better. And then boom, you get to the last season, you're like mind blown.
Next thing you know, we're gonna have a whole Gintama situation. We're gonna have over 400 episodes of absolute foolery in filler, and that's all we need. Or you can just be straight up One Piece and just give us nonsense for I don't know how long. Give us 500
Almost
episodes.
1,000 episodes. We're touching 1,000
We're getting
episodes.
They still haven't made it yet, but it's okay. Keep trekking, I guess. I love one.
I love Harry Potter. I love One Piece. I love all the crazy, all the super popular things. I love them. I'm okay. I'm basic. I'm basic.
It's okay.
You don't like all the super popular things.
Okay, except for Death Note.
Death Note wasn't really super popular, was it?
Oh,
So kind of like, oh yeah, I found out because I was trying to find out a minor that I wanted, and I was going to take creative writing, and I found out that there is like a level 500 like times 4 graduate class that actually read Death Note, and I was like
a college course dedicated to Death Note.
Yeah,
Amen.
and it's like a high level class. Like you can't come into it as a freshman and go, "I want to take that class."
I would. I'd
It's
walk
like you
in,
have to-
into the class, throw down like a 30-minute thesis video, and go, "This is why it's terrible," and walk away. Like, sir, who are you? Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. You're welcome.
But the reason why I brought that up too, so whenever they had the Netflix adaptation, it was horrible. I'll just tell you that. I didn't really like it. But
wow.
my brother told me, he's like, I'm trying to watch all the Japanese versions of it. And, I've seen the first one. And I said, I think it would be really good if they did like 10 years later and kind of let's come up with it. He goes, play. And I was like, what are you doing? He goes, this is that movie. And I was like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, sit down and watch it with me. I was like, did I will this into existence?
You did.
I mean,
I like 5 minutes after he's like, it's already in the DVD player. Let's watch it.
Had every option to say I can't some live action anime movies we don't need. That's all I'll say. We don't need them all. They're appreciated. It's good to have in the archives. Good to have. We don't need those gems.
Dragon Ball Evolution.
JoJo though. Don't even bring this up. That's up there with Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire. We don't talk about that.
Oh, you're gonna throw Spider-Man 3 underneath the bus and not the Amazing
Yep.
Spider-Man 2?
No.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
It's going under the train.
You're right. You're right.
Actually, there is something interesting that I don't normally do this. I'm gonna pimp this out though. A video created by a friend of mine, Too Spooky, is 2 hours long. It's a documentary detailing the live action adaptations, not adaptation, adaptations of the Dragon Ball series. It's amazing. Like I actually sat and watched all of it, and I could not have spent a better 2 hours. If you get the chance, go and watch that.
Yes!
Yeah, Too Spooky. It's the number 2 SPOOKY. It was an thrilling make. He also creates amazing content. Like, you need to look this up because there was apparently 2 other live action adaptations of Dragon Ball from the 1980s before Dragon Ball Evolution, and apparently Dragon Ball Evolution was supposed to be a 7-part series a la Harry Potter.
Oh no!
Oh honey, no! Oh honey, no!
Honey, no! If they wanted to do that now with the right people, sure, we'd hear you out. If you come up to us saying, "Hey, we're gonna try and rectify our wrongs," but they have not tried, and that is okay. I am fine with that.
Oh, there's just so many there's just so much amazing stuff going on, but Dragon Ball Evolution was not one. Avatar: The Last Airbender. I wish they had made a live action adaptation of that one. That would have been a great one to do. Probably pretty easy. You have a whole story laid in front of you.
The Street Fighter adaptation from the 1980s.
Street Fighter was amazing. So was Sydney. What was your favorite movie with Liu Kang?
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat. Sorry.
I was so shocked that you asked and said the character name that I didn't even know how to say Mortal Kombat.
You were like, how does he remember Liu Kang but not Mortal Kombat?
Mortal Kombat.
One of those is 100% easier to remember, and it's not Liu Kang.
No, it is not.
Honey,
gosh.
Where's the one where the yellow ninja rips your spine out and the blue ninja freezes you and then makes you explode? I can't remember again.
It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, sweetie. No, I'm joking.
I mean,
what?
Sydney's threatening to divorce me already.
Oh my god. Don't do it, Sydney. Give him a second chance.
He said, give me a second chance, Sydney. She's thinking about it and laughing. That's not a good sign. I'm in trouble.
Don't poison the cookies yet. Just put laxative in them.
Oh my
god. He doesn't need to go yet.
Oh, so gosh. Can you properly do a live action adaptation? Do you think that, manga can blossom into that as well?
I think it has a lot. Actually, yes. I actually was looking up a couple of kind of shoujo mangas, and a lot of them actually had live action renditions, just all in Japan. So some of them, I want to say Orange, has one. I could be wrong. Oharu Ride has one, and I'm just touched because there's only a 12 anime that it ended to the point where it was just like it was like the way it ended was read the manga. So I had to at that point. But there's actual live action rendition of it. And a lot of these just went from manga immediately to live action. And I think that has a lot of good, the story was so good, we just skipped the anime and went straight to live action. Take that how you will. That kind of sounds like straight to DVD, but it was so good that it didn't even need the anime. That's kind of how I feel about it.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I may or may not love straight to DVD releases.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, some of the Lion King 1.5 was straight to DVD.
Lion King 1.5 is the best Lion King movie.
I'm not gonna lie. If somebody were to put a gun to my head and say, "Hey, Lohali, what are you gonna watch? Lion King or Lion King 1.5?" It's gonna be Lion King 1.5 every single time. It's funnier. Timon and Pumbaa are my jam. And it's just fun.
We have to break up though on that one thing that you said about whenever you're reading. Well, for you, when you watch the anime, it's continue it in the manga.
The worst.
Well, in D and Angel, it goes continue it in the anime, and I was like, I hate it. Instantly,
don't do that.
D and Angel went from being in my top 200 manga to dropping to almost last place in what I had. I was like,
oh my God, you just brought back a horrible trauma. I remember that happening, and I was like, but I don't know how to watch the anime because I didn't know how to do it at the time. Now I feel sad.
It's okay.
It's okay. I'll be strong. But I think one of the primary things that I really, really appreciate is that there's so much, like, I love the fact that Shonen exists because if it was not for Shonen Jump, we wouldn't have Shonen Jump Weekly. I had a friend in middle school whose dad owned a comic book shop. And when he found out I read manga, gave me 6 month backlog of all the Shonen Jump, and then got me every time they came, he would give me a discount for all the weekly Shonen Jumps that came out.
Okay,
So
that's awesome.
Right? Like he just showed up on one of my birthdays. He was like, "Hey, I brought you this," and he just
wait, I
popped
have
out
to
a
ask
huge
you,
tub.
how much did you have to pay for this?
I don't even remember. I was little, and
Okay.
so whatever my allowance was, he would literally be like, "How much do you have?" And then he would take half of that.
I have
Almost
$1. I'll
almost
take the full dollar.
every Christmas, I would get that as like one of my presents. Was like renewing the subscription. It was like $25 for the whole year. I was like, yes.
Right. So, which brings me to like, I don't know what he was doing. I love and appreciate him for that. I truly do, because that was a lot. I don't know if people just, he had such good business, he could give away one for free. I don't know. I didn't care at the time. That was not my problem. I got Shonen Weekly and I had 6 month backlog. So at that time, it was like, ooh, oof. It was like 2001. And that was like a whole year before Naruto actually became an anime. So I was out here reading Naruto before Naruto was an anime. And then when I found out it became an anime, I only watched all the way up until the second season and then stopped because I was bored because I'd already caught up. So I just stopped watching Naruto.
Same.
But I mean, after all of that, I was just finding other animes and other mangas to read. Like, I can't tell you how many I read out of nowhere. Like now I have on my shelf, I went to Books a Million just on a whim, and I ended up buying I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, which is basically, it's a good one. It's like this thick, and there's a whole DVD about it. It's up there with A Silent Voice.
Was that Giga who just made a video about that actually? I think it was. Sorry, I watch again.
No, you're fine.
Somebody actually made a video on YouTube about this. Somebody's made a video about everything, but I think, Giguk made a video about I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. That's called The Waifu That Didn't Deserve to Die.
She didn't. Oh my God! Look, I didn't even realize that I loved it. Like I had the book, I had the manga, and then the movie had came out because 11 Arts had their release for sub and dub in movie theaters. And I was like, this is happening all too fast. And it was like, I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, A Silent Voice, Listen to Blueberry. They were all back to back to back. And there was no time for me to make plans. There was no time for me. It was just do or do not go. And I didn't go. So I ended up buying the manga and I couldn't get, look, like we discussed, certain animes, they really hit my heart and they really hurt and I can't continue.
Yeah, I can respect that. I can respect that. Or, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Don't discuss.
We won't go there. We won't go there again. I promise.
I can already feel your fiance staring at you.
Don't worry. There's a pillow, so she can't see me right now.
But have y'all not watched the regular Full Metal Alchemist?
Oh, she's glaring at me. That was actually my introduction to Full Metal Alchemist. Was Full Metal Alchemist, just the regular. And I was like, and I started in the middle of like season 2, so it made no sense.
No sense.
My cousin was like, "Dude, this thing is awesome," and I watched. I was like, "This is stupid. This is anime is stupid. Manga's where it's at." And then I watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and I was like, "Oh wow, there are my emotions." And then I would read Then while I was reading Full Metal Alchemist, I would listen to Full Metal Alchemist AMV
No.
Blue October all at the same time while I was reading it.
No. So
Yeah.
you hated yourself, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, I was definitely an emo child at heart. You ever
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
listen
we
to
all were.
like you ever listen to Blue October and read Full Metal Alchemist? You're not gonna have a good time.
You're not. Oh God, that hurts. My heart hurt after that. But I mean, if it wasn't for shonen, I wouldn't find a lot of these stuff. Like for the longest time, and this is so funny to me because all the way up until about February, I didn't know a single thing about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and now it's a common thing in this anime Discord I have my locals, and it's like every 6 hours I'll put it's so and so o'clock, time to go watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And I say it so often that I got a couple of coworkers to actually start watching it. And they're like, oh, why does this happen? Who does that? Why is this? Yes, watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I love JoJo. But that kind of made me realize what other tomfoolery is out here for anime. And
A lot. Like, if I'm going to be completely honest, Mob Psycho 100 gets me hype 100.
Yeah.
It's
exactly.
I think honestly, Mob Psycho, in my opinion, is a better looking and better written anime than One Punch Man. Hands down, both seasons. Comparing them side by side, Mob Psycho 100 is heads and tails above the bald-headed man.
Well, there's a lot more going on with Mob Psycho. I mean, I love and respect all shonen. I do. Don't let me sound. I don't want this to sound wrong, but like a lot of shonen are, hey, this guy has a superhero power and he's an unconventional superhero. Mob Psycho is this guy is at this point everybody. It's like a psychological anime to me. So it's like we all have to watch it and to understand it. And then there's ghosts and there's a lot of paranormal stuff. There's a lot more. It's not just he's a superhero. He's not some underdog that you have to root for. He just is. And this is why we love Mob.
And I'm not gonna lie, have you seen season 2?
No.
Ah.
It's okay. It's okay. I have a lot. I'm building up on a lot that's happening.
I binged on season 2, and there was just one episode that I watched and I went, oh, like it like the entire season up until that point put me into a lull, and then we get to this one specific point in one of the episodes and I went, oh, remember the "It's Going Down for Real" song?
Yeah.
That popped up in my head. I was like, "It's going down for real." I was like,
oh my God.
That's exactly what happened in my life. It just went, my mind exploded out the sides of my head and I went, oh no, Mob needs a hug. He needs a hug right now.
No. And see, this is why when I tell people about spoilers, there are few spoilers in life. Don't spoil a Marvel movie and don't spoil anime. I don't care about what happens any other time. But if you tell me, I know I'm going to, because I've already connected to this character. So
Like
if
I said,
I've watched it, read it, it's over.
I'm doing my best not to spoil, I promise.
Okay.
I'm not giving anything away.
Well,
Jim's struggling.
And then there's Marvel movies.
Whenever people go, don't spoil anything, I will have not watched it yet or whatever, because I'm one of those people. Unless like I go with my brother or somebody, I'll wait for it to get cheaper. I mean, we used to have a $1 movie. I'd wait for a whole month before it got there, and then I'd be like, I'm gonna go watch 4 movies in a day. Exactly. And people would ask me, they're like, don't spoil anything, and I go, someone's gonna die, I feel it. And they're like, why? They go watch the movie and they're like, somebody did die. I go, it happens in every movie, I tell you. And they're like, wait, you didn't know somebody was really gonna die? I go, no, I just told you that.
The suffering. Oh my gosh. No. Yeah.
Just like if anybody goes, no spoilers, just go, somebody dies. That's it. You don't even have to be correct about it. It'll like psych them out and they'll be like, oh my God.
Well, that's like going to a Disney movie and saying the parents are terrible. Like a Disney animated movie, the parents are always terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Like the dad's either dead, and
They're
then
always terrible.
either both the
Or
parents
the
are dead,
mom,
or the mom is
both
dead.
the parents are dead, or there's a horrible stepmom.
Yeah,
Hey.
that's it. That's exclusively it. It's always Disney had something against stepmoms. Like I'm convinced he didn't like stepmoms. He didn't like aunts. Like he against everybody. Just hated everybody.
Cinderella just grew up just crap.
My
Cinderella
go-to,
grew up she was she was technically royalty, so she would have been allowed to marry the king, prince. She would have been, but man, her stepmom was whoo.
Cinderella anime, we need it. Disney, get on it. We need the Cinderella anime.
What I would love is Tangled anime, because Tangled is my jam, my jammy jam.
Just jammy jam.
My jammy jam, my pajama jams.
My thing with Disney movies now is it doesn't even have to be like Disney if it's Pixar. So on Snapchat, whenever they had the little deer thing where your face is like a deer and your voice got like way octaves higher, I was like talking to a friend on an ASL class, and I sent her this thing. Middle of class, she watches it, and it was me going, "It's so cold. It's cold. Bambi's mom."
Oh, see,
And
no.
so now that's like my go-to whenever we're watching. Somebody's like, "So what do you think's gonna happen in this?" I'm like, "Bambi's mom's gonna pass away," and I'll try and get as emotional sounding as I can. And they're like, "That's a thing. It's coming back." I said, "Yeah, it's a spoiler." No spoiler, and they're just like, "I hate you."
If you don't know that Bambi's mom dies, I don't know if you've been alive.
Hey, I mean, I'm still one of those people. I'm still one of those people that watch the stuff when they're like, "Hey, like all the stuff is connected because they use some of the same like images." I guess.
Yeah.
I watched the thing where they said who killed Bambi's mom. I like lost it. I was like, that can't be true.
Get off of Disney conspirator YouTube. You don't need to be there. That's where you go to die.
Well, they because what Disney did is they didn't redraw certain scenes, so they used the same scene for different things. Maybe there were more trees or something. The foreground, they did more to it. And so what they anticipated was they used the same scene in Snow White and in Bambi so that the huntsman is actually the person that killed Bambi's mom. So it's like they're supposed to be connected somehow. Exactly.
Are you allowed to crush dreams on this live stream? Are you allowed to do that? That hurts.
I think we're pushing the boundaries of the stream.
I feel attacked. Primarily.
I'm crying on the inside.
Yes, indeed.
So we are entering the final 7 minutes of the live stream, which, can you believe it's almost been an hour? I've had fun.
I cannot. It was great. This is a great one.
Like I said, this is the legendary Manga Club podcast. This is for people who didn't get the chance to have a manga club in elementary school, middle school, high school. This is where all of us nerds, geeks, dweebs, whatever we want to call ourselves, otakus, meet up, hang out, and chat.
Or if you're into conspiracy, we're all here just for Lohali to have his own manga club.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, isn't that what it is? Yeah. I mean,
exactly.
It's not a conspiracy if it's true, is it?
It's not.
Maybe.
It's not.
A conspiracy would be that really Jin is the one who orchestrated the entire podcast, and I'm just the puppet.
Or Lohali's psychic powers manifested me.
Oof.
I'm like his imaginary friend.
Through action Samurais.
Very, very true. It's all possible. So is there anything coming up on the anime watch list that you are keeping your eye out for?
Oof. And you know what? I'm so behind. What is coming? I honestly do not know because there's so much happening and so much is being thrown at me all at once. But I do know that my goal is to go to Anime NYC, the Crunchyroll New York con. So that is my goal. And while there, I plan to lose my everlasting crap and just be at peace with that though.
It'll be
But
fine. You'll get
it
it.
will be fine. But I think the good thing about really liking anime and really liking manga for me is that I don't really have a specific genre. So I just, if it's something cool that comes out, I want to watch it. Like Rising of the Shield Hero, I loved it. I loved everything about it. My Hero that's coming up now, what season is this? 4?
Yes.
I'm mentally, spiritually, physically not prepared for it. I have even stopped reading all the way up until season. Like I stopped reading the manga, which I know in itself is bad, but I want to be hurt again. I guess I'm ready to be hurt again.
Where have you read up
Sydney,
to the manga?
the bad news about the My Hero Academia anime is season 4 releases while Sydney and I are going to be on our honeymoon.
Well, guess you better catch up on the manga.
Oh, I'm who are you talking to?
Oof.
I already know what happens at the end of the manga. I'm so far ahead. I'm from 2024. I know what happens at the end of One Piece.
Are you up to date on Vigilantes 2?
Wait, how do you know what's gonna happen to One Piece? They don't even know what's gonna happen to One Piece.
I'm from
I'm so anti One
2024.
Piece.
I'm from
Oh.
2024. I'm telling you. Once you hop on that One Piece bandwagon, you're gonna be like, okay, I was avoiding this, and now I don't know why.
See, I can't even hop on the One Piece bandwagon. There's too many episodes.
Did you not know that Lohali and Oda were best friends?
We were born together. I'm one
Wow.
of 4 people trusted with
That's
the
a
end of
little
the series.
extreme.
No, we were born in the same year.
Wow.
We were born in the same year. What are you talking about?
Is
Obviously.
Oda really younger than I am?
Yeah, by like decades, because his series isn't 22 years old. That would be strange. He didn't start drawing it through.
Yes, he did. How dare you have faith?
He might have actually. Knowing Oda, he might have. So, we are getting actually close to the end of the live stream, and as y'all like to know, I give a random question that I make up on the spot to our guest to keep them on their toes, to get to know them a little bit better. We've had what is your spirit animal food? We've had where do you think movies will go in the future? And tonight is going to be no different. It's going to be something completely random. I'm going to draw it out of my brain in 3, 2, 1. What's better, dogs or cats, and why?
Dogs.
Why?
Dogs. Why? Because dogs want you to love them. Cats can be finicky because sometimes cats can be, oh yeah, I want the love, but I want it when I want it. No, dogs will give you the love unconditionally, hands down. The bigger the dog, the more love.
That's very true. Chihuahuas have the least love out of any dog.
Mm-hmm.
I hate
Ankle biters.
I'm anti-Chihuahua out of any animal. Like I'm anti-tarantula, anti-snake, anti-Chihuahua, and Weimaraners, wiener dogs. I'm anti that.
And if it can be by my ankle, I don't want it.
So then, what's your dream dog?
A Pyrenees.
What? That's a big dog.
I know.
Yeah.
I saw a picture of this dog that was literally half dog, half wolf, and it looked like a pyro wolf. And I wanted it so bad because they're technically legal in certain states, countries. So now I have a goal.
To move to a state where that's legal.
Yes.
I can respect that. That's
I
an
just
affable
have to
goal.
tell you, we got the expansion on Sims for the pets, and I have mastermind my own creature that I want. So I have like different households that have like mixtures of both of these dogs and these 2 dogs, and then I'm like, all right, when are we gonna get them old enough where they can mate? And then the dogs from down the street, I want them to mix. That way, at the end of the cycle, I have like a 26 gene dog that's just like amazing.
Forward.
Wow.
It takes a lot of orchestrating to do this.
All that I'm picturing is a dog with 26 pairs of pants on.
Well, exactly.
So, Jin, are you dog or cat, and why?
Usually I'm both, but I haven't had a cat in a really long time because I have my 3 dogs. So,
Respect.
and 2 of them totally great. They all have their own personalities.
One of them is a dog, that's for sure.
They all have to be dogs, hands down. Dogs.
I've got. Well, unfortunately, he's not gonna be happy about this, but he hasn't been up here yet tonight, guys. Give me 1 second.
Yay! Oh my gosh! Look at that giant stuffed animal back there.
I am Team Smokey. He is not Team me. He's very upset with me since I woke him up. I am Team Smokey. I am also Team Dog.
What if somebody's been watching the podcast and they knew that you liked One Piece and like Smoker, and that's where they came up with the idea for Black Torch and Raiga being a smoky cat. That's how Black Torch was made.
Boom! You're welcome. It's all for Lohali. It's all for Lohali.
That's beautiful.
I'm mainly Dog in my pick, but Smokey is very dog-like. He lays next to me every single night in the computer room. He and I bro out over a good glass of milk. And he's just genuinely adorable, and he follows me around. Like, he'll sit, stay, and do all dog things.
Exactly. Cats would never.
His only cat trait, he is a cat, is waking me up 5 minutes before my alarm goes off.
He wants you to be prepared.
I can respect him, though.
I don't want you to be scared when your alarm goes off.
Anyway, I want to thank everybody so much. So, the Mighty E, whose link is in the description down below. Tell us where we can find you. Tell us what if you have any cool things that you have coming up that you want to talk about, let us know right now.
Oh my gosh. I actually have nothing to come up with other than the fact that I actually have. It's not actually coming out yet. I'm really working on a whole compilation of animes that you should watch that have gone under your radar. So that is my goal. I will be posting about it most likely on my Twitter page.
And again, that is linked down below in this description. So go check that out. Go follow the Mighty E, because tonight's video would not have been possible without her at all. I know.
You'd been fine. You'd be okay.
Yeah, but we gotta meet a new friend. We gotta have a new face on here. And again, E, thank you so much. Jin, what do you have coming up? What should I keep my eye out for?
Oh man, Lohali, do you like podcasts?
I do enjoy podcasts. In fact, I might be on one right now.
Well, I have my third podcast this week and we're doubling up on threes here, for the third show of the SOB podcast on Saturday on Bazaar's channel. And then I still have the community challenge, getting pumped for the Spartan challenge. So anybody that wants to jump into it or whatever, leave a description, I guess, down below in this video, one of my videos, Twitter, however you want. It's trying to read one more manga than you have read before so far in a month.
Ooh,
so I believe I am up to, because I did so well in Lohali's, and my buddy screwed me over really well. I read 60 books, so my goal is at least 61.
Oh my gosh.
And you're about to have a new job.
That too.
You gotta balance.
It's gonna make it difficult. Ooh, Jin, the gauntlet has been thrown.
I don't know though. I feel like, and I need to make a video on it. I feel like when you have all that extra time, I've read less, because even though working an 8-hour job, my record for that one of the days is in 1 day. So not sure how that happened, but then I feel like now that I don't have a regular one, just here and there, like even on a day off, like I feel like I might read like 4 or 5. So I don't know what the difference is that changes how much you read, but
not for Elizabeth, because I most definitely had 2 whole part-time jobs taking up at least 14 hours of my day, and I still finished We Never Learned Bokuben and Dr. Stone and half of JoJo. What else did I read? And I started and caught up too with My Hero Academia. What does that mean? It means I'm kind of not working, but that's perfectly fine.
Or you might just be a superhero, you know?
I tried.
Your quirk is reading manga.
So,
It's so beautiful.
and the gauntlet was thrown down because Twitter wanted it. I asked 2 different series, Haikyuu and Hunter x Hunter, if I should focus on reading those for the Spartan Challenge. And it looks like those are my 2 series I'm focusing on reading for that month.
It is. I voted.
That was him.
I was expecting for somebody to get back and be like Haikyuu was every, I think there were 60 people, all 60 people said yes. Hunter x Hunter, there's like part of the people are saying no, and I'm like, who knew that there were haters for Hunter x Hunter?
There's
Let
always
them
haters.
hate.
There's
Let
haters
them
for
hate.
everything.
Not Haikyuu.
Maybe. You don't know that.
I'm officially a hater, not joking.
All right, and for me, I have my Friday video coming out, which is going to be a little bit of a surprise for everybody. Then I have next Monday's monthly manga haul video, and I actually have a few surprises that I think are going to blow everybody out of the water. This is going to be the second greatest manga haul I've ever had, guaranteed. And then next week on the podcast, we are joined by Andrew Sundoku once again. I'm so pumped. Andrew is a great guest. So, yeah, that's what we got going on. The Big E, the Mighty E, the Greatest E. I want to say thank you so much for being on. I appreciate it.
The girl that when she walks in the room, you got to sit there and go.
No. He tried.
I was so proud of him. He tried real hard.
He
But
tried.
again, thank you so much for being on. Jin, as always, you're expected to be here, so I don't have to thank you. I know, but it's
Hey,
because
boss
I
man.
appreciate you.
Can you stamp my time card today?
Yeah, absolutely. It's stamped. Stamped with a smiley face. So, for everyone new and old, welcome and welcome back. It's your boy Lohali, and I will see you next video.